So, the Stibnite mine. It's just an ugly idea.
Proposed by the company Perpetua Resources, the Stibnite mine is located on the East Fork of the South Fork Salmon River, which is at the headwaters of the entire Salmon River watershed. Any river downstream of this mine, such as the main Salmon, Lower Salmon, and Snake River, would see the impacts of this project.
The Stibnite mine has a long history of gold mining activity here in Idaho. The most recent iteration of the Stibnite mine began about 10 years ago. Perpetua Resources put forth a mining proposal for gold mining extraction. That message has now shifted to national defense. The fact of the matter is that this is a gold mine.
In Perpetua's current model, their primary intention is to extract antimony, an element used for hardening bullets.
It's important to remember that 96% of their profits are actually coming from the gold. The amount of antimony that's available and going to be extracted from this site equates to about 3 years of our current demand. And of course, that's going to be extracted over phases, so they equate it to 30% of our demand over 6 years. We don't think an area as precious as the East Fork of the South Fork of the Salmon River should be degraded to a point where it's questionable what the restoration will ultimately look like for a little bit of antimony and a lot of gold that's going to be making a lot of investors and outside stakeholders very wealthy, while leaving a really important area for ecosystem, for the tribes, for the local economy, kind of left to pick up the pieces.
There was attention called by American Rivers, announced that it was one of the most threatened rivers, and that project was making it one of the most threatened river systems. It's horrifying. It's just horrifying. And it's a risk. It's a risk that I think if people really understood the risk, they would say, absolutely not. You can't do that.
In Perpetua's restoration plans, this access to habitat for aquatic species would increase. However, the quality left behind would be extremely low.
The soil quality will be further degraded, so it'll be really hard to grow back that vegetation in those riparian zones. For this project in particular, it is estimated in some of the streams, particularly Meadow Creek, that temperature will not return back to baseline temperatures for at least 112 years after operations cease.
It is important, critically important, for salmon, steelhead, and bull trout recovery and sustainability. The East Fork, South Fork Salmon River is one of the most productive salmon fisheries left in Idaho. We have the habitat that's available, but only if we maintain that habitat and care for it.
Besides aquatic species alone, the habitat for all wildlife in this area, such as wolverines, would be impacted.
The wolverine is an amazing animal. It's an incredible animal. It nests way down deep in the snow. It has to have deep snow, and it has to have quiet. And you're going to run that burnt log road right up through a lot of its habitat.
Along with these species, our culture and recreation as humans in this area would see a significant change. And not just at the mine site itself, but throughout the entire Salmon River watershed and the surrounding area.
I would have to just say that the East Fork, South Fork Salmon River is an incredibly special place. It is part of the Nez Perce tribe's homelands. It is critical to their cultural knowing and being.
This is going to be harmful to the tribes and their ability to access the area and the work they've been doing up there for fish habitat restoration, as well as local guides and outfitters. Putting a massive open pit gold mine smack dab in the middle of this area is going to cut off around 14,000 acres of indigenous traditional hunting and gathering grounds, as well as recreational access, and really limit the ability for the public to utilize that area while operations are being conducted.
Do we need mining? We're filming this using technology derived from mining. I'm sitting in a chair in technology derived from mining. Yes, mining is critical for our future, but some places are more critical and provide more than a mine site does for a few years. The impacts to that area could do more negative damage to tourism and that aspect, that segment of our local economy, than a mine will provide.
This area of Idaho, while extremely rural, is an important aspect of many people's lives. It's a place where people can go to recreate and find solitude. The ample access to rivers, mountains, and wilderness draws anyone looking to use these resources for recreations, such as hunting, fishing, backcountry skiing, rafting, kayaking, and much more.
People don't understand the risk. There's going to be 14,000 acres of public land that you're not going to be able to go on till the mine closes in 15, 20 years?
So, with the implementation of the Stibnite mine, this recreational access is virtually eliminated on a substantial area of this land, and the impact will be evident even after the mine has ceased.
The incredible destruction that has to be done in the cyanide gold leach mine, and to do it at the headwaters of the Salmon River. I'm sorry, I know we're an irreligious society, but there should be some things that are sacred. And the Salmon River, for Idahoans especially, is a sacred river. It's the queen of rivers here. There's some things you just can't do, and there's some places you just can't mine. I don't want to see that kind of destruction. I would like my grandkids to grow up and still be able to go to the Salmon River in the South Fork. It's dirty business. You can't do that. You can't do that to a river system anymore. The last statement that the Forest Service made in the record of decision was, this is going to be environmentally destructive. The best alternative would have been to do nothing.
The worst thing that could happen is what we predict that will happen, that there will be a spill, that there will be impacts to fisheries. But even should none of that happen, there will be these long-term impacts, post-recovery and the restoration efforts.
So, what can you do? Saving the South Fork of the Salmon River isn't completely hopeless, even if the losses outweigh the wins.
We are going to do everything we can to get the best available information out to the public, but staying tuned in, talking to your local county commissioners, talking to your legislators, especially at the federal level, if you can.
There are so many ways to get involved, such as donating to local organizations and writing public comments. Show that you care for this place and it's worth conserving.
You have to have some kind of love driving you. Maybe your love is more immediate, intimate, personal. Whether you're just a person who loves the Salmon River, who loves clean air, who just feels like we have to fight for clean water and clean air. We have to be more careful now.
Perpetua is a large company wielding large power, but we're connected by something much more powerful than money, a shared love of the South Fork of the Salmon.
They just have to key into their love. Maybe their love for the fishing bull trout on the East Fork of the South Fork. Maybe their love of skiing in the backcountry. Maybe their love of the river itself, or maybe their just sense of fairness that those animals, that river, those streams, those plants, that soil has a right to live.